Good evening from us yet again. It is just myself in the commentary box for the second night in a row, commentating on Division 1 last night and Division 2 tonight. Hello everybody, I am your broadcaster G-Dave11 and your commentator. Sadly, Herman still cannot make it. He's otherwise occupied with other things, so we do wish him all the best and we hope to see him next week fully back and with us in Divisions 1 and 2 alongside me. But for this evening, you will just be hearing from me. But anyway, last night we knocked out Division 1. Tonight we have Division 2. We have a few things to go through, but more importantly, we are going to be knocking out the first of 4 rounds in, well, the second of 4 rounds in this part of the season. We're visiting Singapore tonight, and for the last time as well this season. Then we'll be off to Belgium, and then to our full qualifying session, the first of 4 this season, and that will take place in Portimao. Then we have our 1 week break, and I will be commentating to you for the next 2 rounds in the States. So look forward to that. Just look forward to that. Let's just say that will probably be a different kind of commentary style, depending on where I am based. But otherwise, let's have a look at the standings. After 1 round, we have the Saubers leading the constructors, with Red Bull in second, Mercedes in third, Williams and Aston Martin on equal points, riding out your top 4 from 4th to 5th. Then it's Racing Bulls, Haas, Ferrari, and then the Alpine and the McLarens on no points at all. And let's see how that affects the driver standings as well. Well, fellow Son there on top with... Well, on top there with the only win this season, as we've only been to one circuit so far, and that was Qatar last week. And it's Russia, Syria, Danger David. Danger David hoping for a bit better fortune than he had last season, of course. Took the championship all the way to the final round and sadly wasn't able to finish that round. And it's Andy RJ, your current world champion, in 4th place, taking the pain, well, trying to take both the Division 1 and Division 2 title, but hasn't been the easiest of starts, but did very well last night, so let's see what he can do tonight. Then it's Pleasant Snake, rounding out your top 5. Then from there on, it's Energetic Control to Brown, Mr. Welter and Kovachka, rounding out your top 10. Then it's Daryl, Jolly Boy John, Moksha, Flip Namsram, and Tarkagina, rounding out your top 15. That score points. Then from outside of that is Quincy, Race Chase, Toby, Quan, and Julia, rounding out your top 20. And then the other 2 drivers who were unable to finish last time out were Evor and Enzo, who's currently served, I think he served his 3-race ban, if I've calculated things correctly, so we might be seeing him tonight. But now we are loading in to Singapore. So a bit about this track. It is a track of 19 turns at a length of 4.940 kilometers at 3.070 miles. A race lap record belongs to Daniel Ricciardo, with a 1:34.486. This was achieved in the V car back in 2014, or at least on this version of the circuit, which was opened in 2008 in a harbourside location similar to Monaco. The modern layout is designed by KPR, which is inspired by the original design of Herman Tilke. Of course, you might remember the slingshot of turn 10, which actually faced a lot of criticism from drivers. It was said to be uncomfortable. I believe it was Felipe Massa who compared the actual sausages to little turtles. Like, it would really ruin your traction if you ever hit one of those. So a bit of a fun fact for you. But since then, they've smoothened out the circuit, and it has become a favourite among the F1 faithful. But tonight, of course, this circuit, as I stated last night, also had a safety car in every single Grand Prix up until 2024, and well, in every single SSRL race I have commentated, there has been a safety car, so traditions looking to continue potentially. We'll see who is first out, but I imagine we will see the Welshman of Daryl make moves first, as he always does. We have all 20 drivers, and there is someone moving there. It is a Williams. That's either Sir Ebo or Pleasant Snake. Let's just have a quick look. See if I can gather who that is. It is indeed Sir Ibo's, and Sir Ibo really struggled. He's also in Division 1, so he's not really in the best of shape right now. He really had a learning curve. He was able to bring it home in 14th, but was a lap down, and it was also a wet qualifying, so maybe the dry conditions might play a bit of a role, and at the moment there is an Alpine currently on the circuit. That's of Moksha achieving a 3rd place in Division 1 last night. Maybe his luck can continue into Division 2, and Quincy as well has just come out as well. He achieved 6th position after penalties, and Quincy was really happy with that, and he said he could have battled in the top 10. Of course, fellow son was still feeling under the weather, so Quincy stepped in for interviews, and he had a lot to say. Quincy said that he has the pace to be battling at the top in Division 1. Can he transfer that confidence into Division 2 and get some results together? We'll soon find out as the evening proceeds. So just in case if you are new to F1 League Racing, first and foremost, thank you for coming to SSRL, and thank you for choosing us as your first point of contact with League Racing, as Ibbo there, you can see there beyond the white line, and invalidates the outlap. Will matter very little. He will have good momentum going on to the flyer next time around. So there is a rule here as well. So we have an 18-minute qualifying session, and we have a 50% race distance. Now, a new rule that was brought in for this season is a mandatory 2 stops. So what you'll need to do, you'll still need to switch compounds, but then you'll need to make an additional stop, or you can stay on the same compound in your first pit stop, but then you would have to switch in your second, or vice versa. So a lot of people could play the hard, medium, soft strategy. A lot of people could usually go medium, medium, softs. It kind of depends on the situation you are given. And of course, if a safety car comes out, well, it's still natural to see every single driver pit in. So that part of things hasn't really changed in the grand scheme of things, but we'll see how the 2-stop is affecting everybody tonight. Fellow son, thanks to his win last week in Qatar in Division 2, and then his win here in Division 1 last night, fellow son is the one to watch out for. He could make it 3 in a row across 2 divisions, and that would be a first in SSRL. So let's see what he could do tonight. He will be the one to watch, but Ibbo is also going to be very conscious of what happened last night. He will want to do better than stone dead last. He'll be the first one to set a lap. He invalidated the outlap through here, and, well, taking it very cautiously, I must say. Not really using all of the track there, so Sir Ibbo definitely has a lot of work to do. We'll see how this all goes out as the evening proceeds, but Sir Ibbo perhaps not looking in the best of shape in terms of lap time here. So he's going to come across the line. That's a 1:33.929. Now, I have to try and remember what the times were like last night, so I do believe that it was a 1:31, maybe that was about right. So that would be about the pole time pace. As soon as I say that, though, Moksha in the 1:28, so never mind. Forget everything I've said, as then Control goes 6/10 faster than that. And then Quincy as well comes across the line, and he's not too far away. Again, translating his pace from last night into tonight as well. Jolly Boy John up into second with a 1:27.736. So it looks to be at 1:26 something could be the pole time as early impressions stand right now. Fellow son up into third as well, 1:27.960. So the top 3, or top 4 I should say, are pretty tight together, very much how it was last night. So we'll see how that all goes down as the season progresses. But Danger David, one to watch out for as well. It's Mr. Wouter there. Herman said he was one to watch out for last week, and Mr. Wouter now at the top of the timing boards at 1:27.3, but Danger David responds, well, doesn't respond, puts his first lap in. That's a 1:27.759, so he's off to a flying start in qualifying so far, as now Flip has also put in a time, 1:27.829. Somebody else did as well. That's demoted Quincy even all the way down to 9th, but that was Pleasant Stake, who just came across the line into Williams. That was a 1:28.280, so 1 second nearly separating the top 8 so far. We've still got other drivers to do their lap. We've even got Tabran on a lap as well, and he's just coming across turns 18 and 19 now, but invalidates through turn 18, just clipping the curb there, putting all 4 wheels across the right line. And that was sadly all said and done for the lap. And Kovachka as well has done the same down in 20th. So we turn our attention to Tarkangino. Tarkangino, last week, I don't have all the results in front of me. And in fact, his result is the one I am missing. So I will get that to you later on in the evening. So that's just a bit of an outstanding one there. But for some of the others on track, Andy was not able to transfer his pole position in Qatar into a win. He had to settle for being off the podium in 4th place. And he was talking about it in his podium last night as whoa, talking Gino there, getting it all wrong. That was on the exit of turn 14 there. Just got a bit too much throttle there and sadly could not keep the car under control. So he will have to go again at some point. But that's really going to affect him because you want that banker in as soon as you possibly can. Of course, the track isn't currently in its best conditions. So what do I mean by that? So what I mean is, I talk about this every week, but the track surface. So the surface, before you drive on it, of the track is usually very dirty, and you have to do what's called rubbering in. And what that means is that as you clear up the surface of dirt on the track will clean itself up, and then you find more traction on your tyres, and then Bob's your uncle, you usually go faster as the session wears on. So don't expect these times to stay as they are, and Control proving my point there, because he's just gone to provisional pole with a 1:26.602. Now, I've also got to remember as well that the times set last night were in the wet, so I don't really have any good comparisons that I can use from last night. I know that the fastest lap was about a 1:29.3 in race conditions, and we are well beyond that, so not last night won't bring any sort of fruitful comparison, considering the conditions are very, very different. And with 10 minutes to go in qualifying, Flip is currently improving by a few hundredths here and there in both sectors. He goes right up against the wall there, and actually he abandons the lap. I think he knew he lost too much time, and well, gets it a bit wrong on the pit exit and loses a bit of front wing to boot as well. So we'll go back to Energetic 6, who's just, well, Energetic I should say. He's decided to remove the 6 from his name this season, and Energetic just riding Energetic this time around. Quan is also here with us tonight, and he's currently yet to set a fastest lap. So let's go on board with the McLaren driver as we go through turn number 6 right now. No, I believe that was turn number 7. Now it's turn number 9, and now we're through turn number 10. So that means that was turn number 8. My apologies. Now we go through turn number 10 here in the sling, which had the controversial left, right, then going into here for a right-handed turn. But looks to have navigated that all okay. Of course, that turn 10 was part of the reprofiling of the circuit many years ago. And Quan now is coming down to the second longest straight, or the second longest straight on the track, because now he approaches out of turn 14, turn 15 here, which is a small kink, and now he's on this long straight. Of course, this used to go right and then go into a left-right-hander, and then you approach this corner, which is now turns 16 and 17, and now through to the final 2 corners, which is 18 and 19. And Quan actually doing quite well, but it's not really enough. He is 5.3 seconds off the pace there, so the McLaren incredibly slow. And if we were using the 104% rule, well, there wouldn't be very many drivers that would be qualifying. I think you're looking at the top 12, and that would be it. Of course, this might become the top 13 in just a second. Indeed, it does. And Andy Andre, half a second off Control there. He goes all the way up to second, and Control has really been a thorn in Andy's side in Division 1 and 2, and he has found some competition, that's for sure. Might be an exciting season, though Herman is not driving today. Isn't driving this season at all, even, I should say. Kovachka a bit slow there through Sector 3, especially through turns 16 and 17. We'll see what the time comes out as. It's not going to be particularly competitive. That's enough for 15th with a 1:29.0, but that's nearly 2.4 seconds off the pace there. So, Control, in fact, our whole top... Let's see, I'd say our top 5 are the closest together on track right now, but then Jolly Boy John making that the top 6 there, so not bad stuff at all. Was that Fellow Son? It was Fellow Son. My apologies. Fellow Son just coming off a flying lap there, nearly 1 second off of Control's time, and not bad at all. So there you go, fellow Sun now up into 4th. Of course, as I said previously, looking to make it 3 in a row across both divisions, and what it would mean for his championship charge in both Division 1 and 2 if he can make something work tonight. Rush the series. The reserve driver who was with us last week is also with us in the Ferrari. So we'll see what pace he can do. Didn't get very far last night. I think he was with us last night, but then again, I'm starting to try and remember things off the top of my head. I will come back to that at some point. But in terms of last week's results, he earned a 2nd place, which of course, he currently stands in 2nd place in the championship, but hasn't got a full-time seat. He wanted to kind of play more of a reserve role this season around, and so he's trying to kind of just have more fun with the game and come in every now and then when he is required. And we'll see, well, what the time is going to be. He's just coming across turns 18 and 19 now. And, oh, a bit squirrely on the exit there. He got up into 4th place, but it looks like he lost a lot of time there in those final couple of corners. He looked so unstable at the rear there. And that was something we saw with Danger David back in Catalonia. Of course, he was talking about how last week was an absolutely fantastic response to considering how his season ended last time out. We have a yellow flag for a slow-moving vehicle. It's one of the Haas drivers. That's Flip there. I think he was just kind of slow-moving. He's just warming up his tyres, so we can ignore the yellow flags. But already, as the qualifying session is already drawing to a close, Enzo does have a couple of things outstanding. We will go through that in just a second in between the qualifying and race, or we can actually try and go through it now. But Enzo does have a penalty to serve because he did unfortunately get up to some antics, for lack of a better word, in the previous, well, the last time he raced, which was in the finale last time out in Season 4. Now, he's got a quali ban, so he won't be joining us for qualifying, so that's your 20th place driver already all secured. We have Sir Ibo on a flying lap, but he's not improving much through Sector 1. That was 400ths down, fortunately for him. And we have an Alpine just passing him by right now. That's Moksha there, who's actually on a flyer as of right now, but 4 seconds down, so he will not improve. I think Russasiri is coming into the pitch. Yeah, so that's about right. So he set that lap of a 1:27.5 last time out. So he would be coming in for an in-lap to change the tyres and then go again. But here we are through Sector 1. It's a 500ths improvement for 9th place Flip in the Haas. And let's see what he can do. He's approaching the 2nd DRS zone on the track right now. Coming into turn 14, he goes and is 1.5 tenths down there on his personal best. Remember, the delta in the top right doesn't compare to the session best, it compares to your overall best. So you've got to kind of do the math there to try and figure out where he would be placed at the end of the lap. But Flip calls this one a day, and despite that, he is on 1 lap fresh tyres. So I'm trying to kind of get a grasp of what that second graphic tells me. See if the menu will tell me. Let's have a look. No. So the best lap was set on 2-lap-old hards. Oh, 2-lap-old softs even, beg your pardon. Okay, so it's basically telling me the tyre life that was done, that the best lap was done on. Okay. Interesting. That's good to know, actually, as we're seeing Tabran start his flying lap, currently down in 11th with a 1:28.0, 1.4 seconds off of Control's time. Control and Andy are currently on an outlap, and the top two separated by half a second as of right now. Can Andy bring that gap down to a more respectable size? Half a second is nothing to scoff at, and it would just keep you within DRS for that one crucial lap. Remember, DRS is activated on lap 2, which was one of the rule changes between 2023 to 2024. So, and I do believe it was called the Max Verstappen rule as well. But anyway, enough about that. Brown is currently approaching the 2nd DRS zone. Control has started a flying lap. We will cut to him once Control finishes his lap, and he's 4 tenths up, you know, so this is becoming a very respectable time. If he can keep this momentum up, this could get him up to about 5th place, but let's see. He's got to carry it through. He's got a couple of more corners to go. He's got this right-left of 16 and 17. It navigates that okay from what I saw. Now just the long sweeping left-handers of 18 and 19. And you know what? That wasn't bad at all. It wasn't quite as high as 5th, but it's 8th place there. That's top 10, and that places him right next to his teammate. And if he's quick, he could possibly go out and have another go. But at the moment, not looking likely, as now we are seeing fellow Sun improve as well, and this will more than likely be his final lap, because he would have to recharge the battery as soon as this lap is done. But ultimately, that could be it, as Kvachka is your first retirement. He retires in the pits, so no laps will be affected at all. And even then, there you go, fellow Sun into the wall there. Delayed reaction from myself, admittedly, but here we go across the line, and that's not bad at all. That's up to 3rd place. I do believe one of the Mercedes is starting a flying lap. That's Quincy, but at the moment we are on board with Andrew. But I did promise you to see Control, but Control slowed down, so he's had to go again, 9 seconds down. So this is Andy's final lap. He's 7/10 of a second up, so he will go ahead. If the momentum in sector 1 was good, let's see what it is. It's 1:26.5, but what does Control have in response? Andy with a fantastic time there, but let's keep an eye on everybody else. Merman's little prediction here of Mr. Wouter there. He's pushing very hard on those soft tyres. He was squirreling out of turn number 1, and now into turn number 3 goes. This is turn 4, now turn 5, I think. Here we go, and now into turn number 7. So that was actually turn number 6 there. There's many corners in that first sector there in Singapore. But anyway, this is now turn number 8, followed by turn number 9. Looking very good through here. But at the moment, let's go back to Control, because he's the immediate contender for pole position. Jolly Boy John jumped into 3rd there with a 1:27.2. Jolly Boy John showing good pace at the moment. He's doing very well for himself. Qualifying has concluded. The only people to complete their laps are Quan, Ibo, and of course, qualifying ban Enzo. Enzo will serve a penalty in the race, and we'll come back to that in between qualifying and the race. Herman even just saying something in the chat here. Good evening, Dave. Looking forward to what this awesome track can bring. Same here, as we have a caution in sector 2 for a Haas driver. That's either of Mr. Wouter or Flip. And Control to pole by not very much at all. And it is gonna be, as it stands right now, pole position for the McLaren driver. What does Mr. Wouter have? 3rd place only. That is just under 7/10 of a second. An impressive lap time, if I say so myself. But what about Rustasiri in sector 1? 2.5 tenths up. Moksha even goes up into 4th place there. Nice time from the Alpine driver. His teammate Enzo will be very happy with that indeed. Oh, wow! As Rustasiri there getting all sorts of squirrely on the exit there. Bit desperate on the throttle. But here we go. He's approaching 16 and 17. There's an Aston Martin behind him. By the way, Quincy was able to get his Mercedes into 11th, but Rustasiri's abandoning the lap. Oh, unfortunate fortunes for him. And, well, the other Aston Martin of Tabran, I believe, was completing the lap. He's done his time of 1:27.5. That's good enough for 8th place. But the main headline here is that Control takes pole position. And he's a reserve driver, and he's showing some serious pace. So might be looking for a full-time seat before long. He'll be thinking, hey, if this pace keeps up, maybe I can take both divisions. But he's also got to prove the consistency as well. But nice driving from everybody there, and especially your top 2. Andy and Control. This should be a very exciting race between the 2. And just a little update on Danger David. 1.3 seconds back, down in 10th place. His qualifying curse coming to haunt him yet again. That's going to be very unfortunate. But while we have a bit of downtime and waiting for the session to finish, as it does, right on my command, as we're going to probably also just take a few minutes there as well. Let's just have a look. Quincy. Let's see. I just need to see the penalties. That's all. So just give me a moment, and I will tell you. Let's see. Hang on. I'm trying to find it because I'm just trying to make sure I can find what the penalty total will be now that Enzo is back. And I'll be right with you. Here we go. So Enzo served the last race ban on Monday in Division 1, and he'll have a 30-second post-race ban for the behaviour, shown in the finale. So Enzo is going to be on the back foot for this one. So he's going to hope for no safety cars. But of course, this is Singapore. So while we've got a bit of time now, we're going to just take a little break. But I'm going to leave you with the sights and sounds of Singapore. And, well, we'll be back once the action continues. But it should only be a few minutes from now. And yeah, stick around. You've got some exciting action coming your way. And with that, we have some perfect timing because now we are going to go through the grid one last time for this race start. So it is Control in pole position and not by a whole lot. Andy is definitely equal, but the consistency for Control just needs to keep it within track limits. So as we already know, we know who's second, but it's Mr. Wouter in third place. Then fourth place is Moksha. In fifth place, Jolly Boy John, and in sixth place is fellow Son. Rush the Siri qualifies seventh place to Bran in eighth. Ninth is Race Chase. 10th is Nay Danger David. 11th is SSRL. Quincy, the admin of the league, hoping to try and do better than sixth place last night, but has a bit of a ways to go. Then it's Flip in 12th, Energetic in 13th, Pleasant Steak in 14th, Tark and Gino 15th, Kovachka in 16th, Toby in 17th, Kwan in 18th, then Sir Ibo in 19th, and Enzo, serving his qualifying ban after 3 races out, has a 30-second penalty added onto his time. But what's happened there? One of the V-Carbs getting it all wrong. Is that Energetic? It indeed is. Blip is disqualified, so his tyres are going to be cold as anything once they get onto the start line. We just want to see the tyres that drivers are starting on. So only 2 on the hards, 2 at the back. And then it is, yeah, Toby and Enzo on the hards. And I can understand Enzo's thinking there. But remember, 2 stops, so he will have to stop again in good time. Goody, oh, sorry, no, my money is on Andy to take the win, control P2 and Fellow Sun P3. I'm gonna say Fellow Sun will take the win. Looked very good last night in Division 1, and I think that he's still got more to give. There's Flip there, just already in 12th, and we have an excellent camera angle, just giving us a bit of a higher angle than you're used to, but anyway, at the moment, the tyres will be warmed up at bar 1. That's Flip there, who's been disqualified from the warm-up lap, but then Sir Ibbo. So both Sir Ibbo and Flip will have cold tyres to start this Grand Prix. They will have to work very hard to get the tyres up to temperature. And here we go. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights for Division 2, and it's go in Singapore. And there we go. Control with a good start there. Been a bit late, but initially got the traction out. So he's able to hold Andy behind, but there's the Alpine of Moksha trying to take away third from the Haas of Wouter there. And I think he's got that done, you know. Oh, but then again, Mr. Wouter had the acceleration out the corner. And there's an Aston Martin in the background, side by side with Fellow Sun there. So Fellow Sun putting the Aston Martin under pressure. Let's see how this works. But we have a spinner in the background. That's Enzo in the wall. And that is really unfortunate. That 30 seconds won't help either. But Fellow Sun made the move stick round the outside of the Aston Martin. And Rush Siri is now trying to get past the other one. That's Tabran there. So Tabran and Rush Siri having a bit of a fight. And Rush Siri actually loses the position. So let's use gained and lost. So yeah, that's Tabran up 1. My apologies. Rush Siri down 1. But Fellow Sun is up 1 on Jolly Boy John. But the top 4 were as you were through this sector, and there you go, Flip as well, losing a bunch of positions as well, and Enzo might have had something to do with Enzo's little spin there, as now Fellow Sun is up another position. Not bad stuff at all. Fellow Sun making his way through the field, but anyway, my prediction is Fellow Sun on first, Mr. Wouter second, and I'm going to say, as an outside chance, Moksha in P3, so there you go. Make a note of that, Herman, if you are able to. And then, of course, we'll compare how things finished once the 31 laps have elapsed. But at the end of lap 1, controlling things beautifully. It is first place for him when the fastest lap of 1:33.320. Andy in second, Mr. Wouter third, and Fellow Sun up 2 positions in 4th. Fellow Sun right on the rear. Yeah, of course, I've already read that from Herman. But anyway, Andy's starting to lose touch a little bit within the DRS. That's activated this lap. The only people outside of it are 2 at the back, and Kwan's even had a moment here. He's actually in the pit lane very early on. He's going on to the hard tyres, and Fellow Sun there, you can see that rear ring opening. And Andy, of course, thanks to that drag reduction system, was able to bring the gap down by a couple of tenths. But in the background, we've had a bit, wow, Quincy going very wide there, and the swap for position between Energetic and Pleasant Stakes. So Energetic up to 12th, I think. Yeah, I will say yes for now. The position changes don't indicate anything else. But here we go. So Quan in the pits, they're going on to hard tyres. And Mr. Wouter losing touch with the DRS of Andy RJ here. So Fellow Sun needs to get this move done quicker than he would think. So let's follow him for a little bit. Let's go on board with the Kick Sauber driver, who's making excellent progress so far. We're up 2 positions from 6th and having a good Grand Prix this early on. Will Fellow Sun try and get this move done into this sector? No, he will not, so we'll have to slide behind. But there's a bit of a mistake there from Mr. Wouter. Not looking very secure on that high curb. You see how that unsettled both cars there going into turn 17 there. Andy RJ with the fastest lap, though, so he might be ready to make a move. But let's stick with Fellow Sun. He's down the inside into turn 1, and I think he's got that done. Mr. Wouter forced off the track, but that's only because of how the overtake works. And that is Fellow Sun up into third place and 2.2 seconds to the top 2 in front. And Quad's had a moment yet again, and that is on turn number 13 there. And now Andy RJ is side by side for the lead of the race with control. And now Andy takes the lead, and Fellow Sun was able to hold on to third place there. And oh, a bit of a battle here for 7th place here between the Aston Martin and the Ferrari. Rush Siri getting 7th position and has 6 tenths separating him from Jolly Boy John in front. And now Fellow Sun now needs to try and work that gap. It's at 1.8 seconds, and the top 2 looking very pacey. Maybe he can try and get the Haas behind to work with him, or maybe that's not what he wants. We'll, of course, see how that all rounds out during the Grand Prix. But look at that Aston Martin of Jolly Boy John there, very close to the back of Moksha here for 5th position. Not able to take advantage under this DRS zone. And look, there's Danger David as well, up into 9th so far. He started 10th, and he's also getting onto the back of this battle. He's on the back of Tabran right now. Don't think he'll be able to get the move done through here. And Fellow Sun losing a bit of ground as well. So it looks like he has better cornering, while the top 2 in front have better straight line speeds. And there you go, Andy Ardre with the fastest lap of the race. So I don't think he'll be overtaken there, but I think that was a wide moment from the Aston Martin. It's left him vulnerable to Danger David. But that's no all said and done. It was also a move there for 11th place on Quincy there for Energetic. So Energetic gets that move done as Kovachka and Tarkangino in the background swap for 14th even. But Tarkangino fighting right back on the kick Sauber there. Tarkangino goes side by side into turn 5. And then at the front of the field as well, there's side by side action between an Aston Martin and a Red Bull. There was a brief bit of contact there. I don't think anybody lost anything important. Yeah, all the wings seem to be okay. But wait, no! Tabran has lost part of his front wing end plate, and so that explains some of the understeer that he's getting. And look, he's vulnerable to Race Chase as well. Race Chase down the inside into turn 10 there. Looked like he lost the rear end. I don't think any harm done though. But, oh no, into the barrier goes the V-Carb driver. What does that mean for Tabran? He's right there and then, but not able to take advantage of that right away. Fellow Sun as well in a race of his own right now, and the Fellow Sun is the master of strategy. So don't forget, he's not totally out of this one just yet. You can, of course, rely on a pit stop, but in this early stage of the race, I think you'll want to wait until the gaps have really spread themselves out and then take it from there. A lot of battles happening up and down the field from what is, I believe, 15th to 10th are very much all together. And then it's from 7th to 5th position, 7th to 4th position are all together on the track. Fellow Sun is starting to bring that gap down a little more, 1.7 seconds this time around. But now Energetic is on the charge here, round the outside at turn number 5 there. Can he get that done? I believe he can, but he has DRS to defend. Moksha as well at the front of swap round to Bran. And Energetic have swapped again, but one of the V-Carbs has backed out there. Race Chase might have just had a small moment as Kovachka and Tarkangino swap places yet again. That looked like Tarkangino round the outside of the kick Sauber, and a lot of tussling going on around here. Moksha up into 4th place though, and Wouter down to 5th. We'll see how this all works out, but Mr. Wouter, who was Herman's big prediction, currently and as soon as I say that, he spins round, and the commentator's curse hits the house driver and is now tumbling down the order. He's found a bit of a gap. No, he hasn't. He's right in the way of the Ferrari of Toby, and now we'll have Enzo for company very soon. But for Mr. Wouter, that is such bad news. And as soon as we say that, here's some side-by-side action with Quincy, Tabran and Energetic, as now Quincy round the outside of turn 16. There's contact between the two of them, between the Mercedes and the Aston Martin. He gets past, and there's a Williams trying to take advantage of all of that. But that was intense stuff, as now there's a Ferrari and an Aston Martin for 5th place going side by side. Then I believe it's Rush Siri making a move on Jolly Boy John. Jolly Boy trying to fight back here. There's David in the background trying to take advantage of all this. This will continue into the next DRS zone. Rush Siri will be vulnerable to both behind. And here we go. Whoa, bit of movement there. And I don't think that was very, very fair from Rush Siri, but that might mean nothing at all. Oh, what's happened to control? He's had a moment and he's down to 2nd, and he's missing part of his front wing. Control, his inconsistencies have plagued him a little bit. So now back to 5th place. Jolly Boy John finds a way around the outside into turn 10. What a move that is. And Rush Siri now back down to 6th and could be vulnerable to the Red Bull here. But this is some exciting action coming from Singapore yet again. And, well, the Ferrari doesn't have DRS for some reason. I wonder if it's broken, because that means Danger David has got his way up into 6th. And I think the Ferrari might be having DRS problems. I'm not sure, though. But look at this. Quincy is now right on the back of the V-Cub of Energetic. So are we going to see a revive of the battle we saw earlier on? We're on lap 7 out of 31. And Control is the first to pit here. He's on 5-lap old mediums. So we'll see how this goes for him. We'll make that 6-lap old mediums now. But yes, a front ring replacement. That was inevitable. Hard tyres. And, well, Control now with the undercut, but has a bunch of traffic in front of him. Let's see how this goes for the McLaren driver. And there's a Williams in the background as Kwan is retired. He's crashed out. Safety car. Oh, Control might be in a worst case scenario now. Oh, my word. Control has been absolutely screwed. Everybody has to slow down and... oh, dearie me. For the McLaren driver, that is a nightmare. And now, fellow son is up into second place as well, and the gaps will close. But for Control, oh, what bad news. In fact, actually, could this actually help him? Let's wait and see. Because he'll have to follow a Delta. No, and this does not help him at all. Great for David. Gamble paid off. Absolutely fantastic for David. I must say, those soft tyres have paid off dividendly. Wow. And now for David, he can get his first pit stop out the way. And not have to worry as, ooh, a bit of a slow Aston Martin there. Not really helping anybody, to be honest with you. Only really helping Control. But even then, Control is, oh, he's so far back. Where is he? He's now just coming into frame now. Control is going to be in trouble. Oh, for us to see him with a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits there. Now, fellow son, so everybody coming in. Let's see how this works for Control. It won't. He is way too far. And I imagine he's following a Delta there. I don't think we can see it, but you can see how slow he's having to go. And this is going to be painful. He knows the pit stops are happening, and they certainly have happened. Oh, dear me. And in fact, Control's just coming through 16 and 17 right now. And basically the whole field is making their way out onto the track. Oh, this is painful. Painful stuff for Control. This is not going to be what he wanted. He can get the foot down now. So he's up into 6th, which isn't totally bad news. But David will hold on to that 5th position. So Control, I mean, he's lost a couple of positions. Yes. Okay, that hasn't actually been as bad as I thought that would be. He's still within touching distance, so it's all kind of, as one commentator once iconically said, in a different sporting discipline, it will all come out in the wash in the end. But Control now is going to be at a huge disadvantage in this early part of the stage because the only one driver ahead of him is on the same compound of tyre. So what I think he's thinking is go onto the mediums in the next stint and have the undercut on the drivers. Now, of course, he's going to have to wait very patiently for the tyres to come to him, and he's going to have a few drivers behind who will want that position. Flip, though, I don't... that's an interesting one. I didn't see Flip hadn't pit, so we'll see how that all works out. But at the moment now, the field needing to be closed up, and we'll see from here. Race Chase all the way down in 19th, so unfortunate for him. That's gonna hurt a little bit, not gonna lie. So unfortunately for him, all the way down in 19th. Let's see where he qualified initially. Oh, that would be 9th place. He's down 10 positions, and I think Flip has had some sort of a moment, or I don't quite actually know. I don't know. I just saw Flip go down, and then all of a sudden it was all okay. So we'll kind of ignore that for the time being. But Andy and fellow son of Moksha now round out your top 3. Now, I don't remember who I said, but I said fellow son to win. I said Moksha in 3rd. Who did I say for 2nd? I can't remember. Bad call from Flip. Yeah, I have to agree with that one. Bad call from Flip. Absolutely. I think, actually, he's gone and lost a bunch of positions. Or has he? Because he was right behind Control, if I remember correctly. So Flip's had a moment. Wouter for P2. Thank you. And Wouter is down in 14th. Well, my predictions are going very well tonight. So that's all well. We'll pretend I never... No, I said Wouter for P2, so I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to stick with it. I believe in you, Walter. I don't have any biases because I'm the commentator. But at the same time, please, Walter, please. Anyway, at the moment, we have got a very exciting Grand Prix brewing up. Most drivers have got their first stop out of the way, barring Flip. So Flip still needs to make a pit stop at some point. Now, we saw last night, Sinful went into the pits twice under the same safety car period. He was initially on the hards, went in for the softs, and then went back on the hards. And his two-stop was completed under safety car period. And I was just thinking to myself, I said it there and then in the commentary, you cheeky boy. But that was a real brain move. And I thought to myself, you know what? I would be proud of that too. So, you know what? They could probably play that strategy if they wanted to. I don't know if there'll be a ruling against it in due time, but we will, of course, wait and see. Now, of course, just looking at the results from last week, if I look at Mr. Wouter, did he actually finish? No, it was Julio who didn't finish, and of course, Julio is not with us this evening. But if I look for Mr. Wouter, I'll find him right off the bat, so I'll let you know in just a second. But yeah, oh wait, or was he just not with us at all? Maybe it was on the reserve standing in for Mr. Walter. Both of our pre-team predictions are outside the top 5. Absolutely. That is indeed correct. Let's have a look at what yours were again. It was, yeah, Control P2. I thought so. And yeah, he's currently in 6th position. I'm surprised. Oh, the safety car has been called in. So let's go on board with Andy and let's go silent as he guides the restart. And just as soon as I said that, Sir Ribbo with a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. It's 3 wide going into turn 1. Danger David a little vulnerable here. And it's down the inside from control. Danger David has to go off the track to avoid contact. Oh, but there is contact. Energetic is round. And there's a Williams with contact as well. And Energetic was spun round. And I don't know what's happened there. But he's now missing part of his end plate. And unfortunately for him, oh, dearie me, that is unfortunate because I think that was thanks to contact with Danger David there, trying to defend 5th place, and that's brought Quincy up into 7th, and he's looking at control, and David thinking, oh, how did I get here? But anyway, he's here on pace alone, and strategy calls, but the top 3 were as you were. In fact, the top 5 isn't as you were. We've lost the V-Carb of Energetic, and I think he was struggling to get underway there. He's now underway, so he must have been assessing something, but at the moment, not going well for Energetic, now all the way down in last. I'm also trying to keep an eye on Enzo. He's all the way up into 12th, but the grid, well, is currently tight. That's not really what he wants. Remember, he has to serve a 30-second penalty once this race is done. And now, well, look at this. David and Control are really beginning to get on with it, and they'll probably be fighting each other in due time as Trebon makes an overtake for 14th place there on Toby, so splitting the Ferraris, but Rustasiri, I imagine, will have more pace in the tank and he'll make his way up the field in due course. DRS is activated this lap around and Danger David is looking like he will be well, he'll be having this Aston Martin for breakfast once we approach the next DRS zone, and Pleasant Steak, I think, has had a moment, but no, he's just been overtaken by Kovachka. And yeah, no, it looks like he's had a moment. So that's Tarkangino up into 9th. But we'll go back to the battle as now Danger David to the inside of turn number 6. And there you go, that's all said and done. But can the Aston Martin keep control behind? Indeed he does. So at the moment, control being controlled, but not by himself. That's going to be really annoying. So now he's going to have to deal with that buffer for quite a bit of time. Rustasiri has made a move on the Haas as well, up into 12th place. So that's Mr. Walter down another position. Been a miserable evening so far, and that safety car really doing him no favours as of right now. A lot of action wherever you look at, up and down the field, but fellow son is now within that DRS of Andy Andre as well. Let's see if we'll witness a lead change. There's Moksha in the background, very much playing a similar role to what he did last night, very much keeping everyone at arm's length, and then just trying to take advantage of the spoils when he can. Jolly Boy John hasn't allowed David to escape, but there's Control down the inside as Pleasant Steak suffering with connection issues, but Control deciding to back out of that move. And now actually, well, David is starting to approach the third placed Alpine. So David on a bit of a charge here. He is one of the many on the mediums, and of course, it is now, well, as soon as I say that, I'll finish that sentence in a bit, but now it's looking like that Enzo, as Pleasant Snake joins back, Enzo was looking like he was going to be vulnerable there, but looks like he was able to hold on to the position there. But at the moment now, Fellow Sun's probably going to have a go at the lead. No, as of right now. So we'll cut back to 4th place. The battle for 4th, that is. And Danger David hangs on for another corner. But that gap to Moksha ahead is starting to close. Let's see what Quincy can do. He's just hanging on to the battle here. As now we see a swap as Pleasant Snake and Tabran goes side by side into that corner. There's contact and the Aston Martin spun round. Oh my word, Pleasant Snake spins round the Aston Martin of Tabran here. And let's try and not make this any more messy than it already is. And there's Ibo in the background there. And that was a bit comedic from the both of them there. Looked like they were going to go into each other, but avoided that. And at the moment, I'm just trying to find where Mr. Wouter was. I don't think he was actually there. So in Qatar last week, so he had a reserve in his place. And Pleasant Snake leaves the session there. I don't know if that's actually a full-on rage quit. I think that is just a disconnect. But either way, Pleasant Snake might find a penalty coming his way. As Flip is the first driver to get a... No, he isn't. It's Sir Ibo who was the first to get a 3-second track limits penalty. Flip is the next one. So I wonder if that domino effect with the track limit penalties has begun. As well, soon... Oh, Danger David there. No, sorry. Flip there with a 10-second penalty. But corner cut in there. So gaining an advantage over the opponents. And, well, that's not gonna really... be nice for Flip. Now he's got 13 seconds to his name, as now Jolly Boy John trying to hold off the McLaren behind, and Quincy just sticking with that. Oh, the Red Bull of David there, very wide on the exit. Oh, we've had a spin here for Enzo, and he's missing part of his front rig end plate, and that's at turn number 5 there. And that's not really what Enzo would have wanted, considering his penalty total to be served at the end of the race, and now has 7.2 seconds between him and the car in front, and that's only going to get worse, because surely he'll have to stop again and repair the damage. Jolly Boy John there, as Flip has retired from the session. He's gone into the pits, so that matters very little. So what was 19 now becomes 18, and Energetic, well, and Pleasant Snake are having a battle in the background here, as now Pleasant Snake to the inside of the V-Carb, but the V-Carb cuts right back in turn number 9 and gets the move done. What a move that is, as now I think Control has the inside, but no, Jolly Boy John cuts him off. But now Danger David has fully caught up to Moksha, and now is looking at 3rd place, and David, well, here we go, as we have a caution in Sector 1, but that's only because of the Haas exiting the pits of Flip, and Pleasant Snake and Energetic are going at it again. But that's, of course, Pleasant Snake was disconnected and now desperately needs a safety car to try and bring him back into the swing of things and to get a few positions. So, a bit unfortunate there for the Williams driver. I believe the V-Carb of Energetic had a little mistake there as well. He's 2.8 seconds off the back of the car in front. As now Tabran has made a move on the Alpine as well, but that's Enzo in the pits trying to repair damage there. So we'll see how this all goes. But Fellow Sun has made a swap for the lead in all of the action. I completely missed that, so I do apologise. But Fellow Sun now is your leader of the race, and I think he's your 3rd leader in this Grand Prix. Of course, we had Control in the lead, we had Andy in the lead, and now we have Fellow Sun in the lead. So, yes, your 3rd swap for the lead in this race. And now Danger David is right on the rear end of Moksha. This is for 3rd place here. Danger David can't quite get that done. Not long enough of a straight here, as now we have a yellow flag in Sector 1 that is short-lived. So we'll continue racing as it stands right now, but Pleasant Snake having connection issues, so he's going to be struggling to get through to the end of this Grand Prix. Really unfortunate for him. His qualifying was 14th, so it wasn't that impressive, but either way, he really did. I imagine he would have hoped to have made up some positions later in the race, as yes, Herman now also catches that Fellow Sun is P1, but now Danger David is going to be having a look at Moksha here. He wants this 3rd place, and he's hoping to get this done sooner rather than later. I think the rest of the series are making a move on Tarkangino. Yes, down the inside of turn 1. We'll cut back to the battle for 3rd place. As of right now, Danger David approaching the back of the Alpine. The Alpine goes defensive, but look at David swapping aggressively. Nothing untoward there, but the Alpine's holding on for as long as he dare. The Alpine is still there. The space needs to be given. Oh, but I think it was forced off there, and David is going to lose not one, but two positions, and now Moksha is completely vulnerable to control here. Now, will the Aston Martin hold it round the outside? Yes, he does! Oh, what a move from Jolly Boy Jump, but control is still there as well. Oh, what battling from those two. Wow. Oh, that could have ended in tears, but respect to both of them regardless. That was excellent fighting from those two. How did they keep it side by side? And I think Rush the Siri is in the wall at turn, well, approaching turn 13 there, so that's actually, yes, turn number 12. I think Rush the Siri, and safety car deployed again. Second safety car is out. Well, what does this mean? And look at that, fellow Son and Andy Andre call into the pits ASAP. So we go to the strategy now, and I think we're going to see the last pit stop and everybody onto hard tires, I would imagine. And there you go, there's Andy just in front of your screen there. Can fellow Son hold on to the lead? His pit crew do a fantastic job, but now we're going to see everybody come in. Control onto the mediums. That is a very optimistic strategy, if I say so myself. Mr. Wouter hasn't pit, though, and he's only done one stop, so he's going to be leading the race. But let's see how this all works out for the Haas driver. So let's have a look. Yeah, 2 stops served by nearly the entire field. Enzo has actually completed his 2 stops as well. But of course, you know, he's got exceptional circumstances, as we've said time and time again. But interesting call from Mr. Wouter here to remain out and rush the Siri as well. Well, let's see how bad the damage was. Having to replace his front wing, and he is on the hard tires as well till the end of the race. Let's see what happens. Fellow Son at the moment down to second place, only because Mr. Wouter didn't serve his pit stop under safety car conditions. And remember, 2 pit stops are required to be served before the end of the race. You do have to still swap your compounds, but luckily you can decide which stop is preferable for you. So now, well, we have a very interesting Grand Prix till the end of the race. Of course, Mr. Wouter is probably going to be the exception to the rule, unless if another safety car is called out. We'll see how it goes. And Pleasant Snake still struggling with his connection. I think he might just pull into the pits and call it a day. I wouldn't blame him. It's very unfortunate that we have to see him go out. Of course, he took that shock win in Silverstone back in Season 3 on the opening control. Wow, what a move. Indeed, it was. It was such excellent battling from the Aston Martin and the McLaren. I can't believe both of those held it round those tight turns 10, 11s and 12s. And then, of course, the safety car came out not too long after that, and we were just absolutely enjoying that. But now, the battle for the lead is, well, realistically, from fellow Son to Andy Andre Moksha. Now, control is surely back in this foray as well. Mr. Wouter, I'm afraid you might have let me down a little bit. I predicted you to come, I think it was P2. And unfortunately, it's looking like he won't be finishing there unless if he gets a 3rd safety car, which would be very lucky indeed. But at the moment, a lot of twists and turns happening right now, and fellow Son is enjoying this 2-stop strategy and is on for 3 in a row between both divisions. I think Ibo has had a moment round, turn 16 and 17, and we saw that a lot from him last night as well. So very interesting to see. What is causing those moments? I would certainly be wondering. I'd be looking to try and iron that out if possible. I just wanted to say to you, because obviously 2 drivers did earn 3-second penalties, and Flip is one of them. That is correct, but of course he is not finished, so that penalty no longer applies. But Ibo still very much has his, so we'll see. Oh, pardon me. We'll see if that is... Well, we'll see if he just gets any more. He will ultimately have to serve that at the end of the race. You can't serve that in a pit stop, unfortunately, as it is considered gaining an advantage on track. But We are waiting for him to catch up with the field, and I imagine the safety car will be called in this lap. So we are going to see some very exciting action be reinvigorated, and we're going to have 14 laps, hopefully, of non-stop action. We will soon see how that all works out. But it just, sorry about that, I must apologise, as now the track is green, so the safety car has been called in. We're going to go on board with Mr. Wouter and see how he controls the restart. Let's just go on board with him. Have a look at the back. Look, keep an eye on that yellow dot on your track map. And that will then, as Ippo gets another 3-second penalty, but as soon as the safety car pulls into the pits, it's up to Wouter when we go. And there you go, he doesn't leave it too long at all. On the exit of turn 17, he goes, but Fellow Sun was equal to that there, so good restart there from the couple at the back, as Control is right on the back of Moksha coming into turn number 1. Does he make a move? No, but Quincy is also ahead of Danger David there, so I don't know if Danger David had some sort of moment in the pits. Almost, oh! Bit of a tank slapper there from Moksha, nearly going into the side of the McLaren driver, but holds it off somehow. But here we go, the slipstream of Fellow Sun on fresher tyres. This should surely be academic. Down the inside of turn number 7, gets that done. Not bad at all from Fellow Sun, really simple in the grand scheme of things. And I don't think there's going to be any comeback from the Haas driver there, as Rush the Siri has also made a move for 12th place on Pleasant Stake there, who just joined back. Been a very annoying evening for the Williams driver, but looks like he's still hanging in there as best he can. But Quincy has found a way past David, and Control has found a way past the Alpine of Moksha and is now approaching this battle for the lead. And Mr. Wouter is the cork in the bottle here. I thought he had, well, I was about to say that, but then somehow Fellow Sun lost like 4 tenths there on the exit of the corner. Quan has now left the session, but he was already retired, so it doesn't really matter too much there. I wonder if Fellow Sun is starting to play DRS games, but might not matter, as Andy Ardre to the inside and Control follows through. Oh, but there's contact between the McLaren and the Mercedes there. Don't think that there was any loss of end plates. Let's just have a look at Control's car. Yeah, no, both end plates still there. DRS is now enabled, but Andy will be vulnerable to Control behind. And Mr. Wouter, well, is just hoping to stay with them in all honesty, but 11 lap hold hard. So that explains why he's losing so much momentum. And look at this. Moksha already on the back of Mr. Wouter here. Mr. Wouter will have a helping of DRS down this straight, but I want to keep an eye on Control because he might try and make a move for second place here on the Mercedes. Look, he's gaining and gaining and gaining. Does he go for it? No. So we'll keep an eye on everybody else. There's a bit of movement in the background here. There's Tarkangino. Looked like he was going to make a move. Quan has joined back in, but of course he can't actually take any further part in the race. And Tabran there to the inside. Oh, he's forced off onto the inside curb there. So that is still 17th for him, but Energetic makes the move past. And he is now up into 16th place, and Sir Ibo already 3.2 seconds off of the time. And DeAndre has brought the gap underneath the second to the leader there. He's in second and currently is chasing down Fellow Sun again. So this top 3 battle is reinvigorated, and Mr. Wouter nowhere to be seen for obvious reasons. But now Moksha is going to be vulnerable to Jolly Boy John behind. Here we go again. Slipstream of the Alpine should be working in favour for the Aston Martin. Down the inside of turn 16. Gets that done. That's an important move for Jolly Boy John there if he's trying to keep for a good result. Race Chase gets a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. Andy Arjo with the fastest lap of the race, but he's lost a bit of momentum on the start-finish straight there. Nearly over a second to Fellow Sun, but was just able to keep it within that bubble, but it was certainly very close. But I don't believe any moves will be happening there, but Jolly Boy John is surely close enough to have a go into the next DRS zone. In fact, he's already ready. He's already to the inside. Decides to think again, but oh, the Haas there being very, well, not very aggressive, just being a bit tight more than anything. But guess that we've done it. There's the Alpine, no, sorry, there's the Alpine of Moksha following suit as well. Up into 5th place he goes. Kavachka, and, well, oh, there's a bit of tussling going on in the background here. Oh, there's somebody in the wall. It's a Red Bull. The Red Bull of Tarkangino was in the wall there. Something happened. And there's someone still in the wall there as well. Not Pleasant Snake. Who's still in the wall? Is that Soribo? I think... I don't know. Or it could have been Race Chase in the wall. Could have been Race Chase there. Let's see if there's any damage. I can't tell at this moment, but there's other battles happening right now. Because there's Mr. Wouter. Well, no, there's Quincy. Yeah, Quincy and Mr. Wouter. Sorry, no, that's David. I correct myself for a third time. David and Quincy are doing battle for 7th position. This isn't really helping their charge through the field, but Quincy's still having a good evening regardless. This is some of the best finishes I've seen him do in this with these drivers around him. So Quincy has really improved from last season. Tarkangino now gets a 3-second penalty. Yeah, questionable strategy called by Wouter. Just like Flip and safety car number 1. And yes, I have to agree, because now he is just losing more and more time as the Grand Prix goes on. We have 11 laps to go, and there's a lot of racing to be had still. So here we go. That's Danger David to the inside of Quincy into turn 6, and that's going to be easy as you like. So there you go. Danger David up into 7th, and Race Chase has retired, but it's in the pit lane, so we won't get a 3rd safety car, which I think is what Mr. Wouter so desperately wants. And he would love that. But there's Tabran. And, there's a bit of tussling going on with Energetic 6 here, as Toby is right in front of them. But they're still side by side. How on earth are they going side by side in these corners? That's certainly news to me. My word, these two are having a great tussle throughout the Grand Prix. And caution in sector 1, of course, that will disappear as Race Chase retired in the pits. His car should just ghost out and will be under normal race conditions yet again. But for the lead of the race, there might be about to be a change, because Fellow Son will be vulnerable to Andy and Control behind. He has had an absolutely exceptional season so far, as now Tabran is the next driver for a 3-second penalty for track limit violations. And that's his first one of the evening. That does leave him vulnerable to Energetic behind, and, well, I would say Pleasant Snake, but Pleasant Snake's 8.3 seconds away. Both Williams outside of the points, so they need another retirement in order to try and get some points from this evening. It's been a miserable one for them. And here we go, though. Andy Andre might be looking to the inside of Fellow Son. Indeed he is. They go side by side into turn 7 and through turn 8. I think Fellow Son has done enough to still be there. There's a bit of contact between the Kicksauber and the Mercedes, but they make it out okay. Bit of a drift there from Andy, maybe. I don't think there was actually any contact, so maybe that was all's well that ends well. But there was a side-by-side battle between Tabran and Toby there, but that's all worked out in its favour. So I think that was Tabran up into 12th there, and Toby down to 13th. I think, yes, that's even correct. Yes, I remember that now. But at the moment now, Quincy has caught up onto the back of Mr. Wouter, and Danger David also has made his way back, made his way past the Haas driver a few laps ago. And you can see how Mr. Wouter is struggling with traction. Quincy there just keeping his car all planted and straight lined, and you can see Mr. Wouter was struggling there on the exit. Just doesn't look like those tyres. It looks like even those tyres are past their best. And as you can see here, Quincy is going to have an easy time getting past the Haas driver. He might even try it on the next DRS zone, which is the start-finish straight, which is what we're approaching right now. On to lap 23 of 31 we go. 9 to go. A 3-car battle for the lead of the race with, well, I would say that there is a 4th place trailing not far behind, but that's 4.8 seconds. And Quincy wasn't quite close enough to have a go there into turn 1, so he'll try again. As now Energetic and Toby are going side by side with one another, and that is Energetic up into 13th place there, and the Ferrari just getting a bit dangerously close. But anyway, back to the battle for 7th. There's Quincy with the DRS open down the inside here into turn number 7. Does he get that done? Absolutely. And there you go, Quincy up into 7th place, having a really good race himself. As now Pleasant Snake into the pits, not for a retirement though. He's just coming into the pits to change onto the hard tyres just to get him through to the end of the race and maybe try and take advantage of any sort of retirements. But Mr. Wouter is dropping further and further down the field, and it's becoming a rather miserable plane of existence for him, down 5 positions on his qualifying place. And it's only going to get worse the longer he is out there. And he, well, yeah, he is hanging on for safety car number 3. But we don't know if that's going to be happening. It's now Rush the Siri. Look at this. The gaps have been closing and closing. Caution in sector 2. Oh, that's Quincy in the wall. Quincy in the wall there. How did he do that? What on earth? Quincy missing his entire front ring now. A virtual safety car deployed. Control into the pits. I don't understand why. That is a very questionable call from the McLaren driver. He's going to have to hope for a miracle here. Soft tyres, I would assume. But that is not going to be the call you would have wanted, my guy. Mr. Walter, 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. It's all over for Mr. Walter. And there you go, DRS enabled. And very much in a race of his own is control. There's Enzo. Going down the inside. We've got a caution in sector 1. I think somebody has retired from the race, but I can't be certain. Oh my goodness me, there's Moksha up into 3rd place there, down the inside into turn number 7 of Jolly Boy John, and there you go, that's another place made. But now Danger David is also approaching the back of this, as Andy is now only under 2/10 away from fellow Son there, or was anyway. But now, of course, with the corners, that gap should cushion itself out. Control got past Enzo, by the way, just a few moments ago for 8th place. It doesn't look like... Looks like he's suffering with a bit of understeer there, Andy Andre. Just going into the slow corner of turn number 13, now into 14. Seems like when the... Oh, but we've had an incident there, just very briefly, on the exit of turn... I think that's turn number... Yeah, turn number 5 there, then it's number 6. So yeah, that's turn 5 for some reason. But never mind. Anyway, on we go. Andy Andre there, still trying to get onto the back of the kick Sauber there, underneath 4/10 now, so it's going to be sooner rather than later the move is done. 7 laps to go. We've had a caution now, and I think Energetic 6 has found himself in the wall there, in fact missing part of his front wing end plate, so he will just continue on. Oh, Andy Andre there. Yikes, Walter, that was your chance. It indeed was, and Walter has absolutely blown it, and now has 12 seconds to the car in front. Unfortunate for him. But will need to serve that penalty if he wants to in another pit stop. And I think Andy Andre is going to do the smart thing here and is going to become the hunter rather than the hunted in these final few laps. He's got 7.3 seconds to Moksha behind. Danger David is just going to be trying to hang on for the podium. If Danger David does hang on, it would be his 2nd, 3rd place in a row. But more significantly, as we've had a bit of an incident there. Oh, and that's Ibbo round again, and we were seeing a lot of that last night. And he's missing part of his... No, he isn't. He's got both of his front end plates. The end plates being camouflaged by his tyre. Ibbo will continue on. But now we'll have to go back to this battle for the lead, which is becoming engrossing. In fact, we might have something a bit more immediate because... Danger David is getting to the back of these two, and this is for 3rd place. Now, what this will mean for his championship, we have another caution in sector 2. Something's happened here. It's all cleared up, though, but yeah, hang on. Hang on, we've had a few moments here. I think something else has happened to Sir... No, it's not Sir Ibbo. It's not Pleasant Stake either, but whatever happened has been cleared. And now, well, are we going to see Danger David make a move into turn 1 for 4th place? A few yellow flags happening here. A lot of worries are happening right now as Control takes the fastest lap, a 1:28.815 there for the McLaren driver. So he'll get the bonus point for fastest lap regardless. As now Andy has made his move for the lead of the race. Down the inside he goes and gets that move done. But now we cut back to the battle for 3rd place. No one really close enough to have a go. That's all said and done. So, all fellows are trying to come back. He's lost the rear end going into turn number 8 there. No, number 9 even, beg your pardon. But luckily, not too much momentum lost. He's able to stick with the Mercedes, but I wonder if those tyres are past their best, but they're on the... Oh, bloody hell, fellow Son. Giving all of us a heart attack here, but I think fellow Son is starting to push a bit harder than he probably needs to. He has the DRS still, so he should be okay. But that was some worrisome moments there for the Kick Sauber driver, trying to make it 3 in a row. From Divisions 2 and, well, Divisions 1 and 2. Took the win last week in Qatar, as we have another yellow flag there, and I'm starting to panic whenever we see one of those. We still have time for a third safety car if it is wanted, as Jolly Boy John now and Moksha are going to do battle into turn 16. We have a caution in sector 2 again for a spun round Mercedes, I think that is. No, it's an Alpine. That's of Enzo, if I'm led to believe that correctly. And there we go. That's all sorted itself out, so we'll continue racing. But everybody probably getting a bit jumpy in their relevant seats. But Andy has now gotten away from fellow son. And it looks like, as long as Andy keeps control of this, he's got the win all sealed up. But of course, there's still 5 laps to go and 1.2 seconds separating them. So we'll see how that all plays out. But here we go. The battle for third is now within our immediate attention. Moksha's trying to come back. There's contact between the Alpine and the Aston Martin. And now, that looked like David was trying to take advantage of it, but no dice for him. Bit of frustration starting to creep in, maybe. We'll soon see, as Enzo is now in the pits on 30-lap old medium, so he feels he couldn't get to the end, and also will more than likely be replacing damage. So we'll see how that all goes out. But Quincy now up into 13th place, and is now just trying to bring the gaps down to the cars in front. Now really in a state of damage control for the other Mercedes driver. And the other one is currently up in first place and 1.5 seconds separating him. And now we are watching the battle for third place, which is currently being led by Jolly Boy John. For David, though, this is going to mean a lot because he is trying to bring the pain to the championship. Now, of course, fellow son and Control have just been simply outstanding here. Control at the moment is catching up to Rush the Series, so to get this move done sooner rather than later would be in his best interest. 4 laps to go. Is Control close enough, though? We'll soon find out. He should be able to get better momentum out of the corner, but he hasn't. No, he's just kind of remained where he was, so he's going to have to get that move done sooner rather than later. 4.6 seconds separate Rush the Series from the pack in front of us. Oh, Control there. You can see the desperation starting to creep in. That was rather unfortunate for him, but Rush the Series at the moment still ahead in this battle. But let's see what's happening here as we're going 3 wide into turn number 7. Oh, what a move by David, but he's gone off the track. So that means he might have to give one back, but he's touching the Alpine. Oh, my word. And the battle for third is starting to hot up here. Control didn't get past Rush the Series, but thanks to all of that, that meant a second has gone down. All caution in sector 2, but who for? Is that race? No, it's not race chase. I think the incident has cleared up. In fact, no, they've gotten out of the way. No safety car called. I don't think we'll see one now, whereas there is 2 laps to go. But now Moksha is going to have to try and get that place back. But what driving there from Danger David, trying to go around the outside of both of them. Did continue off the track, though. So it doesn't look like he's giving those places back at the moment. But things are getting exciting here in SSRL. This is becoming an excellent Grand Prix to watch. And actually, then again, I say that. I think Moksha is starting to lose touch with the Red Bull in front. So this could really be game, set, and match. For third place. Look at that. Danger David aggressively breaks that slipstream. And now Moksha holds on to 4th place for the time being as Jolly Boy John now begins to drop back, and Control still hasn't found his way past the Ferrari. And he is losing time to log. There he is there, but here we go. Control. Can he get a move done? They are touching again. Lots of contact here happening. It's getting a little more chaotic than this was last night. I'll tell you that for free. Control now with the DRS, the closest he's ever been. Will the Ferrari cut him off? Oh, there was near contact there with Rush the Series. But Control gets that done. And now it is all good and done. And Diego is saying hello in chat. Hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Good to see you. And at the moment, you are tuning in for what is becoming a scintillating finale for third place. Other positions are up for grabs up and down the field, but this is the one that's the most immediate. Fellow Son will not take 3 in a row as things stand right now with 3 laps to go and 2 seconds. It looks like Andy has just done an excellent job of looking after those hards. And Danger David now, well, his immediate worry is the Alpine of Moksha behind us. Wow, Danger David there getting a bit squirrely on the exit. Here we go, though. We are going to see probably a battle of the slipstream between Moksha and Danger David. But Danger David hangs on for now through turn 16 and 17. And as we approach turns 18 and 19, What are we going to see? Here we go. Moksha looks like he's getting closer and closer. He'll have DRS this time around. We have a caution in Sector 2 yet again for a half there. I think that's a Mr. Wouter. So Mr. Wouter having a miserable evening, and with 2 to go, well, David doesn't have long to go, but it's going to feel like a lifetime when you're battling with somebody. David holds off for the time being. He'll get the momentum out the turn, but I think Moksha did a little bit better because now Moksha's got up into 3rd place. Will David try some sort of move into turn number 7? No, not quite. So he'll just keep things as they are for now. But there we go. The exciting things happening as we go through the Grand Prix. Turn number 8 now. Can David hang on to the DRS advantage? Looked like he completely cut the corner there. So we'll see what happens. But there's control. My word. There is control in the background. He has got the gap down to 2 seconds, despite being held up by Rush the Series for about 2 laps. And, well, getting past all 3 of these cars is going to be a tricky thing, especially with DRS being considered as well. Control might be close enough for 5th place, but that's probably going to be about it. Unless if these 2 battling make a severe mistake here, we're going to move on to the final lap in just a few moments' time. In fact, Andy has just crossed the line now, and fellow Son is doing all that he possibly can to try and bring down that gap to the Mercedes in front. And here we go, though. Danger David is going to be right on the back of the Alpine here. His main overtaking opportunity will be down between turn 5 to 6 to 7. He's close enough to maybe have a go into turn 1, but thinks better of it. He'll hold off for the time being, and these next few corners are going to be critical for the Red Bull driver. He needs to get this spot on, needs to match his braking points, and it looks like he's done that. He's got an excellent drive out of turn number 5, caution in sector 2, but that doesn't matter. It doesn't affect anything immediately. Is Danger David close enough to have a go? No, he's not, and I think that might be it for the Red Bull driver, unless we can find something here. No, doesn't find anything at all there. That's unfortunate for him. There was what I think was a parked up car there. I think that might be the V-Carb of the Williams of Sir Ibo there. That was probably just in between a rock and a hard place, so it looked like, or an Aston Powers situation, if you will. But look at this. I think Moksha's tyres are just about done, and Danger David might have a go into turn number 14 here. If he can get the exit, he certainly... Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Oh, he's lost the exit. Lost the advantage there, and that, I think, will be that. But now, coming through the final couple of corners, it has been Andy Andre who's gone and got this race within the final 2 laps. He wins in Singapore with fellow Son 2nd, but Moksha has done just enough to hold on to 3rd place. Pressure from David at the end there, but it didn't matter. No, there was... unfortunately, oh yeah, good point. Control there, coming home in 6th place in the end, and that was a terrible call from Control there, losing positions at the end of the Grand Prix. But there you go, it's all said and done now. Oh no, there was 2 safety cars. 2 safety cars happened, so yes, there were safety cars, but there you go. Rush the Series comes home in 8th as well. Tabran will come home in 9th position, so he won't lose the position to Mr. Wouter, but Mr. Wouter in a lot of threat here. He'll be losing a few positions, 13 seconds in penalties. Toby takes 10th place. Will Tark and Gino take 11th? He indeed will. Will Quincy get 12th? No, oh, even better, he gets 11th. Nice one there. So Mr. Wouter and Tark and Gino down to 12th and 13th respectively. Pleasant Snake coming through now. He won't gain any positions. 20 seconds off of the group in front. That was a bit of maybe not the best Grand Prix, but Enzo is going to have a point here after all of this. Energetic is 1.27 seconds behind. No, 1 minute, 27 seconds behind. And so, oh, Energetic there with no wing at all. And Ibo there is actually playing very nice there. And they're going to come across the line together. That's going to be it. 3-3 between you, me, and David. 3-3 between you, me, and you, me, David. Ah, nice. 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 I'll take that. I'll take that. Thank you very much, Herman. But there we go. All said and done. It now is very foggy here in the United Kingdom. Sorry about that. I just noticed that out the right-hand side of my window. Don't know if we're going to get the results. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, what a race that was. That was actually quite exciting. But anyway, there you go. Andy back on the top step, and that didn't take him long to find his form. In round 2, he got there in the end, and he will celebrate that that win in fine style, sponsored by Singapore Airlines. And what a race that was. Anyway, we'll be doing some interviews very soon with the top 3. That was of Andy Andre, Fellow Son, and Moksha. And Moksha back on the podium step after last night's impressive 3rd place as well. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So we're just waiting for our top 3 to make their way to the commentary box, and we'll see how things go. But at the moment, we are just waiting for... we're waiting for our top 3 drivers. But anyway, good race again. Fellow Son might not have been the master of strategy this time around, but he did a good strategy, but Andy Andre really read him this race around, so not bad stuff at all from the Romanian driver. Brings a few points into his way, but at the moment, looking very good indeed for a very exciting championship fight. I imagine this will be a championship full of swings and roundabouts as we go through the season. But it is... so it will be... No, Fellow Son will not be joining us this time around. We already have Moksha. Yeah, let's go, guys. G. Davis waiting. Yes, Andy RJ has been given a cue. But yeah, no, Fellow Son's still not feeling well, so he'll give the interviews a miss. So I think we'll have Quincy fill in for him. Maybe. I don't quite know, though. But anyway, we do have... we have 2 of our 3 here, and we will, of course, begin with Andy Andre. Andy, welcome back. Long time no see. We missed you, but that was a good 2nd place there. Well done. No, sorry, you won the race. I'm sorry about that. I'm getting mixed up all of a sudden. I'm thinking of last night's results. But anyway, congratulations on today's win this time around. It was a very tense final few laps between you and Fellow Son, but once you had that gap, it looked like you were unstoppable.
Yes, indeed. I had a much cleaner race today, and everything seemed to go according to the strategy. So, yeah, no big issues, no contact, no front wing damage like yesterday. It was a much smoother race. Safety cars were also timed pretty good for the two-stop strategy, so there really was no opportunity for mixed strategies and some confusion at the end. I think Control gave it a try on something different, but really it seemed not to work out for him. So yeah, a pretty straightforward race and a good result. I'm very pleased with it.
I can imagine, and I'd love to talk about a couple of things. I mean, well, but there wasn't really a whole lot. That you drove a very clean race, as you said. You had very little contact. It was very different from the events of last night. And I guess which one kind of feels a little more satisfying then? Was it the one from last night, or would today's win feel a lot more satisfactory? Just tell us that.
I'm guessing that last night's race was much more entertaining, and for me at least, it was much more tense, and I was always just on the limit. Today, I took it a bit easier, just trying to keep the car in one piece throughout and not take too many risks, especially in the last few laps once fatigue sets in, and also tire wear can be a bit surprising in this game. Like in one corner the grip is there, and in the next one it just spins out, and on this track you can really easily end up without a wheel. So I'm just once I got out of DRS, just tried to bring it home, and uh, ended up fine. But for sure, last night's race was much more on the edge, to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, absolutely, but like I mean, in terms of in terms of a championship charge, I mean, I imagine you're taking it one race at a time. But even in these early two races, how are you feeling about the rest of the season? Do you kind of feel like you have that pep in your step? Because in the previous two seasons, you've kind of had a bit of a bad start, and then all of a sudden it gradually works itself all out. But in this case, it's looking like you've had actually kind of a better start. This is probably one of your better starts that I've commentated over. So in terms of the rest of the season, does it give you that bit of a better outlook, or do you kind of like being on the back foot early on in these races?
Well, for sure, being in the lead and having completed safely all the races so far with decent results, it gives a good feeling. It takes some of the pressure off to always practice and extract everything out of my potential. Uh, but for sure, right now I feel a bit more more comforted, especially that the ones that I'm seeing as my main rivals right now, Robastian and Control, didn't have a very good start at the season, but
Mm.
it looks that from now I'm gonna be I'll have to keep an eye out on Felfason because he showed he found some new pace this season.
Absolutely, yes. I was just thinking that as well. But yeah, no, it should be an exciting fight between you and Fellowson, of course. It's a shame he can't be here tonight because of how he's feeling. But like, hopefully we can get a couple of more hopefully over the next few weeks we can have a few interviews between the two of you, and that will be absolutely excellent to see. Andy, thank you so much for taking my questions this evening. As always, congratulations on your win. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you next week.
Yep, thank you and congratulations to the others as well. See you next week. Bye.
See you. Bye bye. Moksha, long time no see and a very familiar position. Third place yet again. Deja vu must be playing over, but you had to fight for P3 this time. It was between you and Danger David for the last few laps. How did that all play out for you?
Yeah, I think I was pretty lucky at the end because I think David missed one or two exits there. Otherwise, he would have catch me. He was a lot, not a lot, but he was faster than me. I felt that. Yeah, but he couldn't have a go. Yeah, I have the direct opposite to Andy. Yesterday, I felt smooth and I had a clean race, and I was really struggling with grip. The tires went down really fast, and yeah, I missed some apexes, stupid little mistakes, which cost me a lot of time. And also, like Andy and Fellison, they never let me in this DRS window. They were so fast away. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, but P3 is I'm very happy. Yeah.
I was just thinking that as well, because with your P3 last night, you were kind of trying to keep yourself at arm's length and you were just trying to see if any mistakes would happen. Of course, we all know you finished up P3 on that race, but for this one, which one feels the most satisfying out the two races? Do you prefer last night's race or do you prefer tonight's race?
I mean, last night was a very good, very clean race.
Mhm.
This always feels good, but today was a lot more battling, and I like this more. It's more fun, to be honest, to battle.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even be mad if David has got me in the last two laps or something like that. But yeah, I finished before him, and it feels today it feels better, definitely.
Fair enough. Moksha, I know you said you weren't going to be contending for the podium all season, but yet we've seen you twice in 2 nights. Is that probably changing a little in your mind?
Um, as I told, my main focus is on the Monday League. To be honest,
Hmm.
it's very good. That's the same tracks always. So I have some practice on Monday.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, but my target is to get double digit point every race. It means 160 points at the end of the season. It's a very hard target, but I will aim for it, and let's see how it works out.
All right then. Moksha, thank you so much for taking my questions. Congratulations on P3 for the second night in a row, and we'll see you next
Thank you.
week.
Bye bye.
All right then. Quincy, are you looking to take over for fellow son this time around, or?
Oh no, just being nosy, listening to the interviews. That's all.
Fair enough. All right then. Well, with that all said and done, I will wrap it up there. Thank you very much to everybody for attending. And thank you to Andy and Moksha for taking the questions. Fellow son, feel better soon. Congratulations on second place, though.
Cheers for casting, Dave. I'll see you soon.
See you soon, Quincy. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Well, that is all from me and everybody at SSRL. We're currently in the middle of an ad break, so I'll give it a little bit of time. But I just want to kind of say to all the drivers, thank you so much for putting on an excellent show over the previous 2 nights. It's been an absolute pleasure to commentate over the both your races. I've really, really, really enjoyed it, and it has been absolutely excellent. So I just want to say to all the drivers, from myself to all of you, thank you so much for putting on an excellent show. And now with the rad break wrapping up, I just want to say from everybody at SSRL, the admins, the stewards, and all of the drivers, thank you all so much for watching. And we will be back next week at the usual time, 7:30 p.m. GMT, Division 1 on Monday, and Division 2 with myself on Tuesday. Not quite sure what's happening with Herman at the moment because of reasons. He's just got to deal with some stuff outside, which is just of top priority. But he should hopefully be with you next week, unless if we hear otherwise, you will be informed in due time. But like I said before, from wherever you may be in the world, wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive. We'll see you next week for some more action in SSRL. Bye for now.